everyone. Let's continue solving next exam, Math A 2012 question 1.4. Okay, so whenever it's a trigonometry question, it's kind of an interesting question because you need to stop and think beyond the algebra you are using. So what do I mean by this? In this question, he's asking you sine of x minus cosine of x. What is it equal? And he's giving you that sine of x plus cosine of x is equal to this thing, and the condition is that x is bigger and or equal to 0 and smaller or equal to pi divided by 4. So what you need to know is that in your trigonometry circle, let's say that here is the pi divided by 4. So for every x smaller than pi divided by 4 and bigger than 0 in this part over here, okay, your cosine of x will be bigger. So bigger than your sine of x. So look, for example, this part over here, the part of sine of the sine of x is only this, but the part of the cosine is all this. This is your cosine and this is your sine, right? So here in pi divided by 4, the sine and the cosine are equal. So pi divided by 4 has an equal sign divided by cosine, and smaller than it, the cosine is bigger, and here bigger than pi divided by 4. Look, this all is sine, so, and this is the cosine, this part over here. So after pi divided by 4, you will have that the sine is bigger than the cosine, but in our condition of the question, he's telling you that our x is in this space over here. So sine of x minus cosine of x, if x was pi divided by 4, then it would be 0, right? Because sine of x and cosine of x would be the same. And if it was any other thing, then the cosine of x would, then this sine of x minus cosine of x would be negative number, because the cosine part is bigger than the sine part, okay? So this is what we need to look for. And now let's go to the algebra. Now for the numbers, first we have that sine of x plus cosine of x is equal to 4 divided by 3. So let's take it as squared in both sides. So here squared and here squared, okay? So one second. So sine of x squared, sine of x squared plus 2 sine of x cosine of x, cosine of x plus cosine of x squared is equal to what? 4 squared 16 divided by 9, okay? So cosine of x plus sine of x is 1, right? Sine of x plus cosine of x is 1. So 1 plus 2 sine of x cosine of x, this part over here, is equal to 16 divided by 9. So this is our first part that we have. So one second. So what we have is 1 plus 2 sine x cosine x equals to 16 divided by 9. So let's solve for this. So the 1 goes to the other side, so we'll have that 2 sine of x cosine of x is equal to 16 divided by 9 minus 1. So it will be minus 9 minus 7 divided by 9. Okay, I just took this one over here. Okay, so I subtracted 1 from both sides. Okay, and 16 minus 9 would be 7. Okay, so let's keep this for now. Okay, now let's go to the other part that we need to do. So one second. What is he asking you? Sine of x minus cosine of x. So let's do this. So so our question is sine of x minus cosine of x. Let's call it a, okay? Let's call that this our question, the space, the thing we need to find is a. So let's do the same. Take it squared over here and take it squared over here. Okay, so sine of x squared minus 2 sine of x cosine of x plus cosine of x squared is equal to our a squared. Remember, a is what we need to find, okay? So again, sine of x squared plus cosine of x squared is equal to 1, right? The fundamental theorem of trigonometry. So 1 minus 2 sine of x cosine of x is equal to a squared. So look over here. 2 sine of x multiplied by cosine of x is 7 divided by 9, okay? So this part over here is 7 divided by 9, right? This is what we found. So 1 minus 7 divided by 9 is equal to a squared. Okay? So what is 7? 1 minus 7 divided by 9 is 2, 2 divided by 9, right? Is equal to a squared. So a squared would be a squared. So a squared is equal to 2 divided by 9. So a is equal to plus or minus square root of 2 divided by 3. But remember, we needed to find a negative number because the cosine is bigger. So a is equal to minus square root of 2 divided by 3.